Hey guys, welcome to my channel. So I wanted to talk a little bit today about masculine energy and control. Now I know this is a big oversensitivity of mine. It's one of my biggest actually oversensitivities and kind of wounds and issues is I can't stand being controlled, and I know that I'm too far the other way with it a little bit, and it is something that I'm trying to find balance with, but I think sometimes the pendulum has to swing. But I also think it's a question, and this video is more aimed to men really than it is to women. I don't know how many men watch the channel, but I know there's a few. Is are you using finances? Because that is the masculine thing, right? If we look at sort of where men and women get stuck, women it's looks, men it's finances. And I think men are struggling a lot these days because women are earning more, right? They're more independent, so they can actually be more choosy. Whereas in the past, men used to have all the control. Because they earned the money, they used to be able to have 100% complete control over feminine energy. It was just the way that it was. They could control so many aspects, and they would be in control of the house, they would be in control of purchases, they would be in control of how the kid would, they would just be so in control of everything because of money. And maybe men could look at themselves and think, where do I actually use my money to control women? Because I believe in a advanced soul connection or union. No one should be trying to control another person through anything. And women, we do it through looks a little bit, right? And sex. That's how women try and control men. They try to get them to sort of, you know, for example, if you have a breakup, for example, what's the go-to for a woman? To have a glow up and put like a super hot picture on the internet to try and like draw the man back in. It's just something that's programmed into women, right? And for men, their form of control is through finances. And I think that's why men are having such a difficult time right now, because women have stepped up and they now have their own finances and their own freedom. They sort of feel emasculated, and they're really struggling to step into a more balanced energy where the man and the woman are equal team players. And, you know, that to me is a divine harmonious union. It's when the man and the woman are equal team players and they work together for the betterment of the relationship and they make decisions together. It's not like man making all the decisions, man having all the control. And they do this through finance. And like I said, it's been thrown into the loop now because women have their own finances. And this is why I think there's so much craziness going on with gender and masculinity and femininity. It's because it's all thrown up, because this is really the first generation where women have had full equal earning power. I'm not saying they all have stepped into that, but women have that opportunity. In this day and age, whatever you want to say, women have the capacity to earn as much as men if they really want it that bad and they go for it. There's nothing stopping a woman just because the gender that you are. So we do have that capacity to be equal earning partners to men. And I honestly think men are struggling with that because they're going to have to let go of control, because they're going to have to suddenly be like, oh, I can't control women through finances anymore. And I think this is going to get bigger and bigger over time. And we shouldn't really ever be controlling our partner. We shouldn't be trying to control opposite genders. But yeah, just maybe for the men, look at where you have control through finance, you know. A woman shouldn't, you know, if a woman doesn't really earn her own money and she's living in a house with a man and the man has paid for the house, I know you've got the divorce where she can take it away, but until that point that she decides for a divorce, she's very stuck if she doesn't have the money to have her own house. And, you know, and I do think men can be hypocritical at times when they say they want a woman who's very feminine and, you know, they're the breadwinner, and then they complain when she takes half if they divorce. Well, you want that. If you want a more empowered woman that earns her own money, she's not going to take your money from you. Like, I know every woman I know that works really hard or wants to achieve something or is passionate wouldn't want to take money from a man. They just wouldn't. Maybe if they have children, they would need a little bit of help, but they wouldn't want to just walk away from a partnership and take the man's money, because they would I would be embarrassed by that. I mean, that's all I can say is that myself, if I walk away from a relationship, I would be so embarrassed to take a man's money, because I'd just feel embarrassed because it would make me feel like weak and pathetic. If I'd had children, that's a totally different story, because obviously I would have had to sat back from my own life. But I wouldn't take a man's money, because I would think, well, even if he has way more than me, that's just because he was more successful in his business. I don't deserve it unless we had children and I had to step back from my own work. And this is, you know, where we are going. So if you're the kind of man that wants a woman that doesn't have her own career and stuff, you have to expect that she's going to take half if she leaves, because she doesn't have any other ability to make money. And that's fine, but you can't be a hypocrite on that. You can't say you want that, but then you wanted to walk away with nothing. I mean, you can't be delusional. If you want a woman to walk away with nothing, pick a woman that has her own vibe going on, and she has her own business going on, and you know, she's happy with her level of her quality of life she's built for herself. But yeah, I think it's time for men to question why they are struggling with women earning more money and women being a little bit more empowered and having more freedom in their own sphere. And is that because you're actually losing control? You're losing control, and there's nothing wrong with losing control, because when you're not controlling, that's actually where the love forms. That's where you can have a really mutual divine union, when neither person wants to control the other person. But I think the thing that men are having to let go of right now is really digging deep with where they are controlling women through their finances. And are you really okay with meeting a woman in a totally mutual place of love without having that control over her? And the woman also on her side, I think we use our sexuality a little bit, we use our looks a little bit, and there's probably other areas, I don't know, maybe men can enlighten me, where they think women use things to gain control over them. Because I do think this is what we all have to let go of. We all have to let go of trying to control our partner through anything. You know, we have to try and keep working through those veils so we can meet in a really pure space. Because you shouldn't want a woman to be with you because you've got money. You know, you want a woman to be with you because she loves you for who you are. Like, money is just a veil. It's the same veil women put over themselves with attractiveness and makeup and whatever. Like, it's a veil. But we shouldn't want a man to want us because of our looks, because how we're presenting ourselves, because that is a veil. And the same as a man shouldn't really want a woman to like him because of the money veil that he has. Like, you know, it's a deeper connection than that. And I think that is the process that we're kind of working through at the moment in society. But yeah, as a man, what do you think women do to try and control and keep a man under control? And as a man, do you feel that you do somewhat try and control women through your finances, and that if you don't have finances, you feel somewhat like a fish out of water because you don't have that ability to control the opposite sex? So yeah, let me know your thoughts on that, and have a good day, everyone, and chat soon.